So I was with you on the topic of peace, and in the peace topic, I was with pacifism. So pacifism preaches opposition to war or violence as a means of settling disputes, and it covers a spectrum of views ranging from preference for diplomacy, and revolving international disputes to absolute opposition to the use of violence. Means pacifism means in Hindi we say that you have to avoid the war. And pacifism is based on the principle or pragmatism. Principle pacifism springs from belief that war deliberately is a lethal force. War को आपने किसी भी हालत में avoid करना है. That is pacifism. Pacifism don't accept the war. War should be the last resort. Some people term it is a cowardness. You should not go pacifism all the way. So pragmatism, pacifism does not adhere to such an absolute principle, but holds that there are better ways of resolving a dispute than war. War should not be the last resort, right? We should not go towards the war. We should pacify our enemy to come on the peaceful solution. Peaceful solution. Right. The opposition of doubt is or a hope or a war. Some pacifists, while oppressing war, are not opposed to all use of it. Some pacifists says that war is sometimes is necessary to maintain the peace. So that is a war or pacifist. The United Nations may be said to embody elements of all three approaches. The Security Council, which gives permanent membership and veto power. I told you many times what is the meaning of veto power. Means we have got the 5 permanent members in Security Council, 5 permanent members, and those permanent members they have the veto power. Veto power में क्या होता है कि basically suppose some decision is there in which all the 5 members should say yes to the decision. If anyone says veto, means that decision is being cancelled. So veto power पांचों कंट्रीज के पास veto power है. इन एशिया के अंदर चाइना के पास है, सुपर पावर के पास रशिया के पास, अमेरिका के पास है, फ्रांस के पास है, इंग्लैंड के पास है, राइट. तो इन 5 मेंबर्स के पास veto power है. They can use veto power according to their wish. Let me tell you one thing. For example, USSR, Soviet Sun, it used maximum veto power. Maximum veto power जो है सोवियत संघ ने यूज किया था for India, right? For India and India के पक्ष में. So elements of the three approaches, the security, international hierarchy. The Economic and Social Council promotes interstate cooperation. In under the United Nations, there's a one council that is Economic and Social Council. एक छोटा सा ग्रुप है जिसका नाम है the Economic and Social Council, which promotes interstate cooperation. Right, interstate cooperation in several spheres. The Commission on Human Rights seeks to shape and apply transitional norms. Right? They are always pro for human rights. Right. So that is the Economic and Social Council. Contemporary challenges. What do you mean by contemporary? Contemporary in Hindi we call it समकालीन. इस वक्त whatever the happening in other part of the world, that is called contemporary. While the UNO has several noteworthy achievements to its credit, it has not succeeded in preventing element threats to peace. Let me tell you one thing. Before UNO, that was League of Nations. Before UNO, that was one part was there that League of Nations was there. League of Nations was unable to control 1945 second or which First World War and Second World War, and it was unable to control the nuclear war also. That is, atomic bomb was dropped on 6th of August and 9th of August in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, right, respectively. So it was unable to control, and it was unable to control Iraq-Iran war, America-Iraq war. America was successful to hang Iraq's President Saddam Hussein, Libyan President Colonel Gaddafi. So I must say that UNO is sometimes very much unsuccessful to control the war and control America also. So UNO has several noteworthy achievements in its, but it has several noteworthy achievements to its credit, but it has not succeeded in preventing or eliminating threats to peace. Instead, dominant states like USA have associated the sovereignty and sought to shape the regional power structure and the international system. Right. So to this end, they have been resort to direct military action. And let me tell you, UNO was also UNO was also success. It was also improved to direct military action against Iraq. And UNO was also not successful to control the terrorism. To control terrorism, you know, September 11, 2001, WTO was bombarded. It was absolutely demolished by the terrorist activities. Right. So the rise of terrorism is a partial response to the self-serving and ham-handed conduct of aggressive states. Terrorists currently pose a threat to peace, the word peace, through an through an adroit and ruthless use of modern weapons. And terrorists are using modern weapons. They have sometimes many noteworthy people, many renowned people. They used to say that terrorist people, they have also nuclear weapons, right? So they were unable to check that is terrorism. The global community has failed to curb the rapacity of the domineering power and the guerrilla tactics of the terrorists. Basically, terrorists, they always use guerrilla warfare, attack and run away. But they were unable to control the terrorism also. So it has also often, here is this. Yes, so that is the demolition of the World Trade Center by Islamic militants on September 11, 2001 was a striking manifestation of this sinister reality. The use of biological, chemical, and nuclear weapons of mass destruction by these forces remains a frightened possibility. Many Osama bin Laden was a terrorist. And America says Osama bin Laden has a biological and chemical weapons. Right. So the use of possibility of use by these terrorists is a real frightening. The global community has failed to curb the rapacity of the domineering power and the guerrilla tactics of terrorists, which I told you just now. It has also often served as a mute spectator of genocide. आप बहुत से लोगों को मारने को कत्लेआम को जेनोसाइड कहते हैं. The systematic massacre, we call it massacre. The systematic massacre of an entire group of people. This became particularly evident in Rwanda, an African country that had witnessed the murder of nearly 500,000 Tutsis by Hutus during 1991. They are the two groups Hutus are there in Africa, in Rwanda, right, and other another communities there, and Tutus and Hutus. Tutus and Hutus, they clash with each other, and lot of more than million people were killed in 1994, and that is called genocide, mass murder, massacre, right? So now the UN refused to authorize its peacekeeping operation in Rwanda, and UN was also not hopeful that Rwanda people, Rwanda government will accept the peace proposal of a United Nations organization. So the UN refused to authorize its peacekeeping force. What do you mean by peacekeeping force? When a country sends its forces to another country to maintain the peace, like India sent its peacekeeping force to Sri Lanka. Right, we call it peacekeeping force, PKF, peacekeeping force, to maintain the peace of, and we send in many African countries also. In Congo, we send our peacekeeping forces also. So, UNO was also frightened, to send its peacekeeping force to Rwanda, the African country. All this is not to say that peace is a lost cause. No, we can't say that is nowhere. Sorry, peace is there, but people are not. In sometimes they are not supporting the peace tactics. Right, like a lot of terrorism is there in Pakistan. A lot of terrorism was there. ISIS. It's from Iraq and Algeria and all. So a lot of peacekeeping force they were not able to maintain the peace and security in that particular disturbed country. Right. So, but all these this is not to say that pieces are the lost cause. Right. So after World War II, countries like Japan and Costa Rica decided not to maintain military forces. Several parts of the world have witnessed the creation of nuclear weapons free zones where there was nuclear weapons free zones. Many countries they said we don't should not have any type of nuclear weapons like Costa Rica and Japan. They don't have nuclear weapons. Why? Because basically Japan witnessed the use of nuclear weapons in Hiroshima and Nagasaki 1945 in 1945 during the Second World War. So the development or deployment of nuclear weapon is a banned through an internationally recognized treaty. That now the lot of countries they said that we should go for nuclear ban treaty. One was their word comprehensive nuclear ban treaty. India didn't sign it due to some reservation. India didn't sign it. But this if nuclear weapon is used again, then really it will be devastating. Right, today, there are six such zones which have been achieved or are in the process of acceptance of nuclear free zone, covering the Antarctic territory, Latin America and the Caribbean, Southeast Asia, Africa, South Pacific and Mongolia. They don't have nuclear weapons. They are nuclear free zones. The disintegration of USSR, yes, this disturbed the balance of power, between America and Russia. This is now we call Russia. Earlier it was USSR, Soviet Sangh. Earlier we call it Soviet Sangh. Now it's not a Soviet Sangh. Soviet Sangh has been disintegrated, and 15 new zones, 15 new republic countries was born from Soviet Sangh. So The disintegration, and when Soviet Union was disintegrated, it disintegrated in 1991. It has put a full stop to the era of military, especially nuclear rivalry between superpowers. I told you that there was a rivalry between nuclear power, that is superpower. Besides, the contemporary era witnessed the rise of numerous popular initiatives aimed at fostering peace, and they are often collectively described as a peace movement. We were trying for the lot of peace movement. And my dear friends, today is the last, this is the second last topic, peace. And today I will end with this chapter. Tomorrow I will start development. Tomorrow I will start development, right? The devastation caused by the two world wars, which I told you, and it was unmatched. 1914 to 1918, 1939 to 1945, Second World War. It has since gathered momentum and gained a large following across the geographical and political barriers to control the nuclear weapons. To control the, we all want to control the nuclear weapons. Everybody wants, every country, everybody here means every country. Every country wants to control the nuclear weapons, to control the nuclear warfare. The movement is sustained by people from diverse walks of the life and include workers, writers, scientists, teachers, media persons, priests, and statesmen. They are against any type of nuclear warfare. Basically, many people are against any type of war. They said there should not be war. War is basically devastation. It's the end of the humanitarian ground, right? So, and war doesn't give benefit to any side. Everyone is a loser in war. The movement has also created a body of knowledge called peace studies and effectively used in new channels of communication such as internet. Now, communication is very fast, right, due to the internet and all. So, from the communication, we want to spread the peace from one corner to another corner of the world. Even America says it has lot of nuclear weapons. Russia says it has not lot of nuclear weapons, but they are controlling those nuclear weapons. They didn't want to. It's a deterrence. Deterrence. What do you mean by deterrence? Deterrence means डर. जब तक डर है ना, तब तक लड़ाई नहीं होगी. जब डर खत्म हो जाएगी, लड़ाई शुरू हो जाएगी. आपको डर जो है, ये हर वक्त ये पैसिव नहीं है. हर वक्त ये नेगेटिव नहीं है. डर इज नॉट ऑलवेज नेगेटिव और पैसिव. इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ ऑप्टिमिज्म. इट्स अ पॉजिटिव. It's a positive aspect also. Deterrence as a done. So, in this chapter, we have examined the dimension of peace, its meaning intellectually and practically. We face a lot of things and we discussed UNO. So, we come to an end of this chapter. Tomorrow, I will start another chapter that is development. Thank you. Have a nice day.